I begin with my green alien portrait. I have black eyes and wear a top hat. It's my signature as an artist, as well as my artistic persona. My official documents in the United States say I'm a legal alien. Thought it's ironic and could be my mark. I wanted a symbol to represent my artwork and writings. Lady Bedouin is the title I gave myself as an artist. My alien self has nothing to do with my identity. An extraterrestrial on a camel at the sandy pyramids of Giza, ready to migrate and embark my journey to the States.
I moved to a post-industrial state, Massachusetts, surrounded with industrial architecture. I began to scan the graffiti on the outside brick walls. My eyes feast on messages and graffiti drawings. It's an art form. It could be a representation of political activism and culture. Its color is a dullness of industrialism residue.
When I first emerged into social media to promote my music and electronic instrumental skills, I wanted to make my mark as an alien street artist. Similar to the graffiti artists, they inspired me with their DIY art, and there was an opportunity in the underground scene. One of the most powerful graffiti messages found behind the 226 Pro Studios that used to be a nut roasting factory. This exemplifies my thoughts as a lyricist, writing songs about a social cause that I'm passionate about, such as economic equality. I want to vocalize this message through my artwork as Lady Bedouin. To discover an underground scene, I had to keep my eyes open for flyers promoting local music shows. It's a whole new world down there. Basement gigs with secret addresses and art parties at lofts or industrial spaces throughout Boston. Lady Bedouin wanted to jam with other musicians.
At the Berwick Building at Dudley Square in Roxbury, lots of art events happen there. The building itself was a cake factory. There was live and still art inside the building. I began to appreciate what artists do to semi-abandoned industrial spaces.
Mural is right outside the Berwick Building. I found it illuminating. Symbols are Egyptian, like the Eye of Horus. This symbolizes the magic that happens inside the building. My bandmate has a space to jam. We wrote Egyptian Magic together, a song with the social justice cause in mind. The building, I'm exposed to imagery and music. I get to create in a safe environment. I have keys to enter the building. I'm no longer alienated on the streets. Lady Bedouin is a vocalist producing her own music and message with her band Spectra Motive. My bandmates and I were standing in front of a graffiti at 226 Pro Studios roof in Somerville. Can you witness my graffiti obsession? I'm no longer an alien with a top hat. I'm a human self. I feel empowered and more confident as a vocalist and performer. I get to share my rebellious inclinations and questioning nature. Graffiti on Green Street. There's a loft space right across where I performed and danced. Felt vibrant and colorful that day. Like this female image, there's a crown above her head. Did she get that crown through transformation and being loyal to herself and personal values? Humorous illustration. Large too, with a retro twist. It's in a house basement where music gigs are hosted. They call it Pussy Cabana. No one gets offended because it's named by females who live there. It's a spot where DIY events take place by free-spirited artists who reject the status quo. Since I didn't know the previous identities of the graffiti artists sharing the work of a current recognized visual artist I look up to and admire, Wolf Tits, met him. He was wearing a pink wolf costume at an exhibit. Spiked pina colada was pouring out of the nipples of a glass wolf sculpture served for the attendees. Other than his prints, Wolf Tits is a graffiti artist. I admire his work because of the creative figure. Pink Wolf with 6 or 9 tits leaves his animated mark on the city's gigantic walls. If you're ever on the Orange Line, try to notice one of his murals as you're heading toward the Assembly T-stop. This is by Market Basket. My friend is a fan of Tits' work. He wears his pin, and he got his merch. We acknowledge him, and he inspires different street artists. He became a local icon in the underground art world. He created his own events. Here is Lady Bedouin's signature pin that I saw on a friend's tote. It was distributed at my album release party. Seeing the pin months later reminded me of the efforts I put into exposing my art. It's next to a Bernie Pin, a politician and activist who I share values with and support his progressive movement and revolutionary vision. The essential messages behind my songs include resisting fear and mongering media, the profit-based system, neoliberalism and its consequences. It calls for illuminating minds, rejecting corporate consumerism, revolution and transformation of the pyramid capitalist scheme. No longer an alien entity simply promoting recorded tracks online, I'm an active artist who performs in flesh and bones and who wishes to make a change in society. Here I chose to stand under the anonymous Somerville-based conceptual artist and his art, not art signature. And here my bandmates and I are playing. Trying to transform and make a transformational impact on ourselves and others and bring that underground 80s sound back. We are playing an underground gig here. Street sign in front of Zuzu at Central. We played an all ages free show. It's a sign to indicate that we are performing for the public, sharing our art and making a signature and having the message heard on the streets.